Hello, everyone. Welcome to the weekly show of Classroom Without Walls, a school for entrepreneurs. My name is I'm the CEO of Classroom Without Walls. I'm the host of this weekly live streaming show. You can also listen to us on the traditional audio-only podcast. Just search Classroom Without Walls. On this show, I interview leading business leaders, social media, digital marketers, entrepreneurs, and or sometimes like today, I do solo training and we share our best practices and strategies with you so that you can future proof your business. And today, I'm really excited to really share with you my journey from being a very depressed, a very sad human being, a college professor, to where I'm at today, becoming the CEO and growing a six-figure business. And I'm really excited. I can't wait to share my discovery roadmap with everyone. And this is something that I have never ever shared publicly. This is really the first time that I'm sharing this because normally I share this with my private clients, but to celebrate an amazing year or a crazy year and the end of the year, holidays. So I decided to really do this training live and to share with everyone. And so hopefully, this roadmap can really help you get to where you want to be because everything is possible. And so yes. And before we dive into the details, a quick shout out to StreamYard for sponsoring Classroom Without Walls. Over the last 4 years, I have tried so many different apps and tools to go live on different social media channels. And StreamYard is my personal favorite. Super easy to use, and they have excellent customer service. I have a discount code in the comment section. Feel free to check it out, or if you have any questions, email me or message me, and I will be more than happy to help you set it up. And as always, we are live on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Periscope, and on Twitch. I see quite a few friends are here. My dear friend and inspiration, Mari Alice, and my dear friend Zizi, and are already here. And we also have quite a few people on Facebook. So thank you so much for joining us, join me live, and let me know in the comment section where you are actually joining me live from, social media wise and geographically speaking. And without any further ado, let's get started. I have a lot of information to share with you, and I try to, if I'm just doing a solo talk, I think 1 hour might be too long, like you probably could only take me in small doses. And so I will try to be concise and wrap this up around 30 minutes-ish, but we will see. But before I really start talking about my copyrighted under me, my discovery roadmap, and I really want to share with you kind of the backstory to really help you understand there's no overnight success, to show you how far I have come to get to where I'm today. So even though I only resigned from my associate professor position last year in summer, and so technically from resignation to growing this six-figure business took me about a year and 4 months. But actually, prior to last year, prior to my resignation, I was already doing lots of content creation, building my personal brand, this and that. So I want to share with you my entire journey with you. So to really put everything I'm about to share with you into the context. Hey, Randy, so great to see everyone. So I do have a slide. So let me share my slide real quick. And then the slide is really about my personal journey. So after my slide, we're going to transition to my very favorite whiteboard. And I'm going to teach my heart out to show you my secret recipe that everyone can really copy, duplicate, and this entire process to get to where you want to be. So let me get started sharing my screen. And just give me 1 second. I'm so excited. And this will probably the last training that I do before Christmas holiday. So really, really enjoy this. And let me do this way, and you can see my screen. So I hope. Do you know you can actually use Canva to make slides and presentation? Okay, so here we go. And I am just like double checking right now on LinkedIn to make sure that everything's working. Okay, so it's working. Let's get started. So this is my journey, okay? And starting with really a graphic picture. Did I use one? Yes, this is my picture. So this was me when I was only 16 years old. And I also never shared this publicly. And last Saturday was actually the first time that I told this, including my husband. I really shared this with everyone. So, but this will show you why I'm so passionate about education. So when you are actually creating a business and you want to make sure that your business is in alignment with your passion, who you are, what you want to do. So this was a picture of me. Back then, I was a high school student in China. And as you can see, like I was as thin as a skeleton. I think I weighed about 70 pounds, very extremely thin. And I really suffered from a very bad eating disorder for my entire high school, almost the entire high school for 3 years. And on the outside, I was that typical A student. I was smashing, winning all the time. But on the inside, I was really paralyzed and destroyed due to this intense pressure to excel and compete. And that's really planted the seed for me to do what I'm doing today, and really inspired me to leave China, to come to the United States in my very early 20s, to really try to discover a different education model. So I came to the United States and I went to Syracuse, where I got my master. And then I went to University of Maryland, where I got my PhD. I got the highest degree possible. And I started teaching in the classroom for almost 2 decades. So here are some of the students, some of the pictures with some of my students, and organizing events, being silly with them. But again, on the outside, I was doing really good. But on the inside, I was still broken, because I just feel like this broken education model is not really serving our students. And this show is not about education, so I'm going to skip this part. So I was really disappointed in the educational system, and I decided to make some changes. And so 2015 was the time, a turning point in my teaching career. I finally decided to walk the talk as a public relations and social media professor. And I finally started to practice, not just theorizing, but actually to practice what I was learning in the classroom. And 2017 was when I started to do some of you may be thinking about doing right now. So 2017, 3 years ago, I started to reinvent myself. I actually launched my very first live streaming show, okay? And then the following year, and I actually started to generate some income, mainly from my live streaming show outside my full-time job. So I was still, the most amount of my income still comes from my full-time job. So don't quit your job yet until you start to generate income. And then last year, summer, I officially resigned from my associate professor position to really start Classroom Without Walls as a company, register my company and everything. And then this year, I finally started to run this as a 6-figure company. But you can see this is my entire journey. It's not just like everything only started last year, but prior to last year, I was already doing some groundwork. And so fast forward today, my students are giving me amazing testimonials. I'm learning more in 10 days than like an entire year in his business class. And here are just some more testimonials. And I'm feeling so fulfilled as an entrepreneur, as an educator. And like people from different countries are giving me testimonials, which I'm going to discuss later why this is really important. I also got featured in Forbes, in Entrepreneur, Today's Show, and Pearson Education, and quite a few different places. So I show this, it's not to brag you, but to really show you kind of this journey to get to where I am today. I also started traveling before COVID and speaking on stage. I think those pictures are in Korea and in Jamaica, in different countries. I became an Adobe education leader and Adobe insider and started work with HubSpot and become certified finally to learn how children are meant to learn. So I become certified by a brain-centric design to learn how human brain actually works when it comes to learning. And I interview all those amazing people on my live streaming show. So how did I really transform from that unhappy apple to this happy apple where I'm today doing what I love? So this is the background that I want to share with you. So how did I, hold on, I'm trying to close this screen. So how did I get to, that's kind of my story. I hope this story is resonating with you. So how did I come from that, depressed person, regardless when I was in China or in the United States, being depressed as a professor to where I am today and growing this business every day. I wake up, I just can't believe I'm teaching students, doing what I love and getting paid. So now I'm going to share with you my discovery roadmap. Okay. So number one is, I actually have my notebook here. So, I come to my show being prepared so that I don't waste your time. And so D, I don't know if you can see, I'm going to change the color. So D means discover a niche. Okay. So when I was, oh, thank you so much, everyone. Oh, wow, I have someone from Australia. So that's amazing. Flora, thank you. So great to see you. It's hard because I don't really have anyone to talk to today. So it's hard for me to, yes, exactly. So this training will definitely help you. And so what really inspired me to do this training for you guys is now I'm having more and more people reach out to me, especially people who are still in higher education. And they ask me, hey, how can I do what you do, right? So I asked myself, if I had to start all over again, what would I have done differently? So this is the roadmap that I have been applying to myself, which is I'm going to share with you. So thank you so much, everyone. So the first one is D, discover a niche. I don't know if you can see, I'm going to change my color. I don't know if you have ever heard of the saying, riches are in the niches. It is so true, regardless of you agree or disagree with that statement. So what I learned from running my business is that, especially if you are starting out, you have to be very, very specific. You have to be very focused. Like, for example, for me, I'm really passionate about education. So my target audience is actually parents, and not only parents, I discovered parents who are already entrepreneurs, and they also make a certain income level, who are already that six-figure entrepreneurs and who have children and who also think the current education model is broken. So see how specific I am. So if you are just thinking, okay, I'm serving children or I'm serving whatever you are doing, that is really vague. You have to be as specific as possible. Even when I was launching my business, I wasn't sure if I should be talking to the parents or I should be marketing to the students, right? Because after all, the students are going to do my program, but then the parents are the people who are actually paying me. So how do you figure that out? There's no easier way than actually testing your ideas. So I had a piece of content here for the parents, a piece of content there for the students, and then eventually, and I discovered the pieces of content for the parents actually resonated, and they are actually generating ROI for me as opposed to the pieces of content for the students. Because to be honest, besides my own students from Classroom Without Walls and my own undergraduate students, there was no student that was following me. Most people who follow me are actually grown-ups and professionals. So that is kind of how I was testing my niche. And the second thing I did was, which was a big mistake. So I'm sharing all of my mistakes with you so that you don't have to make the mistakes. So another mistake I made was, last year I resigned. So I did my very first immersion, my very first program. And because I'm an entrepreneur and I thought every single parent wanted their children to become entrepreneurs. Big mistake. Do not ever assume what your target audience wants to do. And so I discovered that later after I learned from my own coach, after I started doing interviews with my target audience. So I highly recommend you. So if you are at this stage, you don't even know what is your niche, you are trying to discover your niche, start doing interviews. So I interviewed quite a few parents, dozens of, to really understand what are their pain points, what are the things that are keeping them awake, at midnight, and what are their greatest hopes and struggles as a mom or dad. And I learned a lot. My biggest discovery was that parents, they couldn't care less if their children are becoming an entrepreneur or not. Duh, no wonder the first time I was launching my program was not selling, okay? The first time I launched my program, I didn't make money at all. I lost money, actually. And first, the reasons I'm sharing with you right now, being totally vulnerable and transparent with you. And so I discovered, oh my God, they don't even want to they don't care if their children are entrepreneurs or not. But every single parent told me that their children do not have life skills. So that's why I changed my program from entrepreneurship immersion to life accelerator, so that I'm speaking my audience language. Okay, so don't ever assume, and talk to your audience and interview them. And also, so that is the other way. And if you are liking this, give me some. I love seeing interactions from you guys. We have quite a few people here. So let me know. Give me some feedback. I need some energizers from you. So that was my biggest mistake. And that was a huge aha moment. So this year, after I changed my program's name to Life Accelerator, I'm finally started to get students and start making money. And then parents are finally resonating with me, which is great. So besides that, and this is another way to test your niche. So I'm going to spend more time here because I figured many of you are probably at this stage. And so another way I did is that I have my own live streaming show, okay? So this is one show. I have another show on Tuesday. I have another show on Friday. It is lots of work, but why am I doing all those shows? Because on those, like for example, on this marketing show, I interviewed Seth Godin, Mark Schaefer, Guy Kawasaki, all those people. It is such a great way for me to build my network, build my authority, build my influence, and so that my students from my program can benefit from the networks that I'm bringing to my students. So I want you to understand, everything I do, there is a bigger purpose behind what I do. Otherwise, I do not do it. I'm actually spending less time online than a few years ago when I was making no money, when I was just struggling, trying to figure this out, because I had no strategy. I didn't even see the bigger picture. Okay, so this show is for me to network, to learn, and to help my own students network. Okay, so the Friday show focuses on education, and the Tuesday show also focuses on education. Both of those shows are for me to survey my target audience, to spread my message to my target audience. My friends, I can't tell you how many of my clients, meaning moms and dads, they actually discovered me through my live streaming show. Like almost every single one of them. Okay. They watch my content, they watch my training. So it is really, really important. And so that is another way, interviewing my target audience, understanding their language, doing like all those like training is another way for me to test my niche. And there's another way that is really powerful. I don't think many of you are actually utilizing this. And I use social media as a search engine. Okay. So let me repeat this again. I use social media as a search engine. So I'm going to show you some of those secrets and how I am using social media as a search engine. Okay. So for example, let me share my screen and let me know if you are doing this already. If you are, I want to send you a big congratulations. If not, I want you to start like practicing what I'm doing and what I'm about to share with you. So let You can duplicate the same strategy to Facebook, to LinkedIn, to Instagram. Instagram is also really popular using the relevant hashtag. Oh, can you guys still hear me? I just see the comments. Can you guys hear me now? Let me know. That is so strange. Hey, Rachel, can you let me know? I just did my passionate talk. Can you still hear me? Just came back? Okay, thank you. And okay, so let me quickly. So did you guys catch the part where I was talking about how I'm actually using social media as a search engine? Did you catch that part? That part is super, super powerful. Okay, so let me quickly, I'll quickly do this again. We'll screen share. Okay, no worries, my friends. I'm going to take care of you. I'm so sorry I wasn't reading the comments. Okay. Yes. Okay, no worries. So let's do this. And heard nothing. I'm so sorry. But thank you. Yeah, let me keep talking. Okay, so because this is really valuable and this is for free. If you are starting a business, like when I was starting business, I didn't really have money to invest in fancy, LinkedIn Navigator, all those tools that I'm using right now. So this is really good. Okay, so let me share it with you real quick. Okay, so what I was sharing is Facebook. Okay, so you go to Facebook, and I'm just going to quickly go over this and let me know if you can still hear me. So a Facebook group, and because I'm targeting like moms and parents and entrepreneurs, so this is one that I check all the time. So for you, maybe it's fitness. For you, maybe homeschooling. For you, it might be whatever you do, or e-commerce, or Amazon, whatever you do. So choose a specific, targeted Facebook group in your niche. Okay, and so this is here is the little search icon. Like most people don't even see that. They don't even use it. And so what I do is, like, for example, here, I would just come here. I do this on a daily basis. If you have a VA, you can ask your VA to do this for you. Or if you don't have a VA, you can't afford it yet. So you can literally only spend an hour on all the platforms and do this, right? So I just search homeschooling. And so you want to make sure here, most recent, you want to turn on the most recent. So you are actually reading posts that are most recent, right? So go through them to see, like, what are they struggling with? What are the questions they have regarding homeschooling, right? They will tell you kind of balancing between being a mom and homeschooling my kids are very challenging. That's why at my program, I have parenting support to support the parents. Exactly because what I discovered from this group, because most parents, they don't have time to study, to learn, they need that support. So I added that parenting support to my group. Okay, so just do this. You can search different keywords. So, and this is really one powerful example. And here I also showed you YouTube earlier. YouTube is the second largest search engine. Okay, so the example I used earlier is don't laugh at me, school sucks. And because I'm looking at those people who also think the current education model is broken, so they are likely to send their children to my program. There are people who think our education model is amazing. I mean, good for them. They are not my target audience. I don't even talk to them. My content is not resonating with them. They probably hate me. I don't really care. So I want to attract people who are aligned with my values, with my perspective on education. So I did this search earlier. And this is a really powerful feature on YouTube that many people do not even know. You see here, you have this filter. So click on filter and you can search your content based on video, based on channel, based on playlist. This is really amazing, right? So I can see, let's see, check out what they have channel, right? Wow, this channel is doing really well, has like quite a few videos. So, and I'm just going to go to this channel to look at their videos and to see if I can gain some understanding regarding my niche. Who are those people who think school is not doing well? Who are those people? What are they talking about, right? And let me go back. So, or you can search based on video, right? So this video, wow, clearly almost 2 million views is resonating with people. So when you are doing this search on YouTube, you want to select YouTube videos that are already gaining engagement, already gaining traction, right? Why? Because the more engagement they get, it means that people are really resonating with this message, okay? And so you can literally click on this.
What's up, business?
So I'm now going to watch this commercial. But if this is where my message, I will be watching the commercial to see. I love all of his videos to see how is he talking about the story. And most importantly, I'm going to spend some time to read through the comments. And my friend, I can't tell you how many times I get an aha moment from reading those comments, right? So here people are literally telling me why they don't like school. So I really understand the language they're using, their pain points. And sometimes I would say parents commenting, if it is a parent who is also an entrepreneur. So what I will do is that I will get the name, I will stalk this person on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and start to nurture and build a relationship, okay? And this will take some time. You have to do it either manually or you can hire a VA. But seriously, if you are thinking about growing a business without spending any money doing ads, and this is the best approach. And I have discovered lots of amazing insights and connections by doing this very simple activity, okay? Last but not least is I already did this on LinkedIn. Oh, thank you for telling me, Rachel. And so LinkedIn, I also use LinkedIn as a search engine. You hear search. So what I did earlier was that I searched parenting. And you see here is my post where I interview someone from Adobe, right? And here you are going to see all the people are talking about parenting. Sometimes it's relevant, sometimes it's irrelevant. You can quickly skim through this. If you identified a parent who can become a potential client, reach out to this person, build a relationship, things like that, okay? Wow, see? Lots of my content, I'm really happy to see that because I use the right relevant hashtag, things like that. So you can use the same strategy to I shared LinkedIn, I shared Facebook, I shared YouTube. You can use the same strategy on different channels, okay? Because of this technical issue, I'm running behind time a little bit, but I hope you guys are enjoying this. Give me some energizer. I need it, okay? So we only discovered the first one, okay? So as I mentioned already, I want to spend more time talking about the first few elements than the last several elements, because the last several elements are developed on the basis that you already have a steady cash flow. You are more interested in scaling your business. The very first steps are kind of where many of you are right now, thinking about starting a business and how to actually do this, okay? So the first one is D, we spent lots of time. And the second one is I. The second one is, so D is discover a niche, and I is influence and authority building through content, okay? And this is so important, okay? If you were with me earlier, you remember before I resigned from my college professor position, I was already launching my show. I was already building my content. Okay, it is so important. But I did make lots of mistakes. A big mistake that I made was that I was talking about random stuff. I was talking about traveling. I was talking about cat. I was talking about dogs. I was talking about baking. I mean, all of those are great, but use them for stories to humanize who you are. But for you official, like LinkedIn newsfeed and Facebook or Instagram, you want to make sure the content you are sharing is really helping you build influence and authority. Why do you want to do that? So that whoever you are serving, they can actually trust you, right? They really get to know you. And I just can't tell you enough how many people join my program that I don't even know who they are, but they know everything about me because they have been lurking on my live streaming shows. They have been lurking on my content for quite some time, sometimes up to an entire year, that they didn't even reach out to me until they feel like finally they're ready to purchase my program. So spend some time to really craft, build your influencer influence and authority building content. I mean, there are different things you can do, like what I'm doing right now, right? So I'm doing a solo talk. Besides this one, I have 2 other shows. I do tons of solo training. Like yesterday, I did a training. I talked about the life skills. And after that, I actually had a mom messaging me about my program, right? Even though I didn't have like millions of people watch my show, I don't really care. I don't really care how many people are watching me. I do care, do I have the relevant people who are actually watching me, who may purchase from me down the road? Okay, it's a big difference. Okay, I personally know lots of influencers who have millions of followers who are broke. That's not what I want, right? I want to actually generate. I run this as a business, not as a celebrity, right? And so where I was at, yeah. So like, for example, my live streaming show is building my authority. I also recommend you do interviews, and especially if you are starting out, when you are doing interviews and you are leveraging other people's influence, you are leveraging other people's authority. And when I interviewed Seth Godin, and they really elevated my personal brand, a big deal. Okay, but of course, you don't want to reach out to those big name people when you are just starting a show and they want to make sure that you're actually doing quality work, right? When I reached out to Seth Godin, he told me, I looked at your Facebook and LinkedIn, you are actually doing quality work, you're actually showing up consistently. Therefore, I agree to be a guest on your show. So you want to really make sure the very first few episodes, maybe like your friends, and like different groups that you are a part of, and then eventually you reach out to those people. Okay, but you don't have to only do live streaming show, and you can also talk about blog articles. You can talk about the myth in your industry. I frequently talk about how education is failing our children. So there are so many things, and teach your heart out. Okay, don't worry, even if you teach others, they will still need you to help them to implement this. So don't worry about giving your best stuff for free, right? Giving your best stuff away for free. Don't worry about that. And you best, if people think like right now I'm doing this free training, right? So if you think I'm doing an okay job, you probably will be thinking, wow, this is free. She's not bad. I wonder how is her paying program, right? So like, just do it. I teach authority. Stop talking about random stuff. Okay, I just cannot stress this enough. Okay, you really want to make sure you are building authority, you are building influence, because authority and influence is what to move your business forward. People have to trust you, and so that they can purchase from you. Okay. And you can also, you don't have to create fresh content all the time. You can learn how to repurpose content, you know, from video to audio, from blog article to graphics. There are different ways, but you want to make sure that you are showing up, and you want to position yourself as the best person to solve this problem in your industry. Okay, that is what I'm doing. I want to position myself and Classroom Without Walls as the best solution to figure out this broken education model. Okay, and you want to do the same. You want to become the go-to person in your industry regarding ABC problem. Okay, and that takes lots of time. If you remember my schedule, I actually started creating content since 2017. So like my content has really been pushing my business forward. Okay. So it's a great comment, and I don't know, do you think it's a strategy to start a show format like this and develop the product service in parallel or after? I think you should do both. Like I never thought about, great question by the way, I never thought about resigning from my college professor position. And I want to share with you, okay, which is actually a great point to bring to my discovery, DIS. I want you to start selling, okay? Do it before you are ready. Start selling before you are actually creating, okay? A quick story. In 2017, I was like, you know what? I'm going to reinvent myself. I'm going to do this and that. I think I drove my husband, my children crazy. I actually just locked myself in a room and I created a digital course. And the course was really to help educators understand how they can use social media. Guess what, my friend? Guess what? Nobody purchased my course. I made $0. And not to mention the tears and the time I spent. So don't make that mistake, okay? The best way to validate your idea is actually start selling, okay? So this, someone asked me about starting my show. I think you should do both. Like when I was launching my show, especially if your show is in alignment with kind of your overall niche, you will start to gain ideas. And as I was doing my show, the process of doing my show right now is giving me clarity on my business. Okay, they really go hand in hand. It's not like I have this business idea that I'm going to start a school. To get here, I need to launch a show. But you can do that as you are watching me right now. But when I was starting out, I wasn't thinking like that. I started my show. The show is giving me clarity on my business. And not only my show, I was also posting relevant, not random content, okay? I was also posting relevant content online that is also resonating with my audience. I start to receive a small amount of money, very small amount of money. But it is a good way to test your market. So you don't have to wait. You can do all of them at the same time, okay? Yeah, I definitely learned a lot from creating the course, but I think that's actually a great point, Zizi. But I think I could have learned even more if I actually had an audience consuming my course and actually giving me feedback. Okay, so I want you, even though you are not really ready for selling like a 10K program or like a $5,000 program yet. And what you can create like $300, like a cheaper program, and tell your friends or family members or whoever have been following you. Remember the last step, we're talking about building your authority. So as you are building your authority, you will have to have people who become your fans, who love you, who share your content, who start listening to you, right? So those are your biggest people, supporters. You can reach out to them to say if they are interested in purchasing whatever products or service that you're providing, and start to validate that idea. And I can't tell you how much more enjoyable it is when you are actually being paid and actually creating course content at the same time, right? So right now, I'm actually creating course content for my Life Accelerator program 2.0. I already have students in the program, right? They are literally paying me. And it's just such a great feeling that I'm now doing this for free. I already have students. It works really well, okay? So when you could have audience to give you feedback, that is the best. And start selling before you feel like you are ready. Start selling before you actually create the real product. You want to test the market. Okay. So that is what I have. You can like really package your knowledge into like one-on-one coaching. So if you are starting out, I really recommend you do things on a one-on-one basis. So it is easier for you to kind of really get to know what they are thinking about, to revise the product or service. So start small. Okay. So that is S. I really need you. I will finish in 10 minutes. Okay. I've been going on for way too long. And so D.I.S., okay, and next one is C. So the next one is case studies and testimonials, okay. I just can't tell you. I feel like I repeat myself a lot. And especially when I reach out to someone who recently connected with me on LinkedIn or who has been following me sometime, not as long as a year, they will always ask me, hey, Dr. I, do you actually have some proof to back up what you are talking about? You know, transforming students' lives, help them learn digital literacy, help them find jobs, all those things. Do you actually have the evidence? And this is where, my friend, case studies become really, really handy, okay? So when you are selling your program, the last step to a small group of people, make sure you are choosing those people who are willing to do an interview with you, who are willing to give you a very good testimonial or LinkedIn recommendation, who are willing to share their transformation with you as a result of doing your program. The very first people who purchased me, who invest me, who joined my program, I know all of them, they all give me amazing testimonials, okay? And then I want to share my document with you. I'm sharing all of my secrets with you today. Where is it? Okay, hold on. So yeah, so this is kind of my, I hope you guys can still hear me. So this is my my kind of case study, like testimonials. So after someone asks me that question, or after, you know, before I have a call with them to learn more about my program, so I will actually send this document to them. Okay, so this document has a very brief introduction about what I do. This is kind of the curriculum that we use at Classroom Without Walls, where we really future-proof the next generation. I quickly shared my story, but the key part of this document is about case studies and social proof. And a mom or dad like, wow, she's like featured in all those places, and this is what I do, and the specific outcomes that I bring to my clients. But here I have quite a few specific testimonials from my students and from their parents. And this is my case study. Okay, so you want to build something like this. Okay, and I'm going to add more, because I always, after I work with a student, I always ask the student to either do a live interview with me or give me a testimonial. Okay, so this is literally what I have. About how many pages? I don't even know, like 15 or 20 pages. And so this really, really, really helps me to get to attract more clients and to really start and to grow my business. Okay, so that is my case study. You can have quite a few. I have video testimonials, which I also have. That's kind of a written PDF. I would send it to people. Hey, check out my case studies, right? Like, you don't have to listen to what I say, but look at what other students and what other parents and what my clients are saying about my program. It is a good way to sell your program. Okay, so C is for case studies and client testimonials. And I probably don't have enough time to talk about all of them. Maybe I should do a part 2. Oh, do you guys think I should create a part 2 for this? Let me know. Okay, Arsalan has a question. And as an educator, you know how to create a program. Any tips for non-educators? This is such a great question. And I think there are lots of people out there who are launching very successful. I mean, for me, I'm just like starting. My next goal is to really get to the 7-figure level. And many people I know, they are doing 7-figure businesses, but they don't even have a education background. Maybe they're like a college dropout, right? So I don't limit yourself because you think that I don't have this education background and therefore I can't do this. And I think that is a self-limiting belief. So if I were you, Arsalan, right, remember I discussed earlier, right, after you need to discover a niche and you need to really, and once you discover that niche, stay in your lane. Stay in your lane, okay? You don't want to confuse people. I also made that mistake. I was talking about too many things. People had no idea what I was doing. So ideally, you want your target audience to associate you with one or two or phrase, right? For me, it's kind of disruptive educator. So at least people know I'm in the education space, right? People used to think I was in the social media space, which is only one thing that I talk about. So I really had to do lots of work to shift people's mind to think of me as an educator. So if I were you, I would really stay in my lane, discover my niche, stay in my lane, and start building my authority, and then create a very small product or service that you can start testing the market. Your audience, the market will give you lots of feedback and use that to to improve your curriculum, to improve whatever you are selling. And even for me, I'm an educator. I'm actually doing the 2.0 version for my program that I launched in summer. I was like, now when I'm looking back, I was like, wow, the program I did in summer was pretty bad. What was I thinking, right? But start before you are ready. If I didn't launch the program in summer, I wouldn't be able to get to where I am today. So the program I'm launching right now is a lot better, okay? A lot more value. I also increased my price, and but it's better, right? So there is a journey. You can't wait until you feel like this is the perfect program that I'm offering. It does not work like that. I hope that answers your question. Yeah, part 2, or also part 2. Yeah, so maybe I should do a part 2. It's almost like dinner time for us. And then so we cannot discuss DIS. Okay, so I'm going to stop after all. And the next one is optimize. Okay, there are a few things that you have to optimize. And so there are a few, and I'm going to wrap this up after I finish this. I'm also kind of losing my voice a little bit. And so a few things you need to optimize, okay? So you need to optimize the system. What I mean by the system is actually watching, like what you are watching right now, okay? So the discovery roadmap is my system. This system will help you get to what you want, okay? And eventually you want to remove, when we get to R, D.I.S.C.O.V.E.R.Y. So when I talk about R, one element of R is to remove yourself from your business. You don't want to be slaved to your business, right? The reason that we become an entrepreneur is to have more freedom, right? So eventually you want to remove yourself from your business. So you want to create a system. So the system is actually doing the work. Now you create the system, but the system is what really helps your client to have that transformation, right? So I can teach you this discovery method, but if I teach another person, like everybody can teach you, we just need to follow the steps, right? So you want to create a system like that. Even I can share my screen again. Even when I was sharing this this like case study document with you. So this is a system that I created for my Life Accelerator program. This is our curriculum. It doesn't matter who teaches this. Right now, I'm the only person teaching this, but eventually I want to train more people who understand how to teach, and they can just follow the steps, follow this curriculum, and you will be fine. You will be able to future-proof kid. Okay, so you want to create the same thing, and this I think is the biggest missing link in many people's business. And I have interviewed, oh my gosh, almost 300 people on my live streaming shows. I think about only 10% of them actually have a system to really help their target audience to transform from their unhappy state to a happy state. When you don't have a system, you always are slave to your business, okay? I don't know how to make this like more clear. And you just have to create. So eventually it's this system that is doing the work. So that is one thing. Another thing is at this point, you already generated, case studies, you are building authority, you totally understand your niche, and hopefully you are generating some cash flow. So at this point, you can finally start to invest the money that you are making from your business into developing the business. Okay, so my personal favorite is ClickFunnels, and I have built so many funnels. I have a funnel for my webinar, a funnel for my workbook, a funnel for my case study, a funnel for my website, and I just have all the funnels. So when you are sleeping, your content is doing the work for you. People are downloading your content, they're consuming your content, they are getting to know you, and you are growing, you are building your email list. Okay, so at this point, you should really start working on your funnels. And I don't have time today, but next training, I can share with you a few of my funnels. So with ClickFunnels, it's now cheap. I think is, I don't remember, $97 a month. But so worth it. I even used a ClickFunnels to build my website. Everything I use ClickFunnels. I have dozens of funnels. You can do A/B tests, split tests to make sure which one is better. But you don't have to get here, right? Remember, you do the first step, 3 steps. D.I.S. first, D.I.S.C. first, and then here you optimize. Okay. Last but not least is like you need to start optimizing your social media profiles. Okay. For me, I mainly use LinkedIn to generate leads. And so I have lots of keywords in my LinkedIn. Okay, maybe I can quickly share. And then we can wrap this up. And I'm so happy everyone is enjoying this. Makes me really, this is my Christmas gift for all of you. Okay, so let's go to my my LinkedIn profile. Okay, you see, here is my LinkedIn profile, and I have all. So here is where you want to have many keywords, and here is in the about section. You also want to have lots of keywords. For me, my keyword is kind of career, life coaching, education. Like this is my target audience. I help them do what so that they can what, right? So I mean that's another topic. We can talk about LinkedIn profile optimization, but at this point, you need to start thinking about optimizing. If maybe you don't use LinkedIn, maybe you use Instagram, maybe you use YouTube, it doesn't matter, your Twitter. But so far I never got any client from Twitter. I have got client from Facebook and from Instagram, from LinkedIn. So you want to make sure that you are optimizing them, they're actually looking good, does the work for you, with the funnels, and start building your email list and nurturing sequence, all of them. So that this is like another big step from doing everything organic to automation a little bit, and then eventually there's another big level up, you can scale, right? That's everything we have for almost an hour. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying us for an hour. And so for my course, I used to use Lori. Thank you for joining me live. I used to use Thinkific, but recently I switched to Member Vault, MEMBER, Member Vault, VAULT. I mean, I can send you a link later. I love Member Vault because they have a gamifying feature, and I work with people. I love to how you play games. So with Member Vault, after they get like they watch a video, they will get a point. After they do the quiz, they'll get a point. So for my students, once they reach like certain points, I will actually give them incentives like whatever, like Amazon gift card and like computer, like what, not the entire computer, but like, things they can use on their computer. So, or maybe sometimes even a camera, and really depends on how motivated they are. So those points can really motivate the students. Dr. I is giving us a surprise. I want to keep watching the video. So I love to gamify that a little bit to kind of boost the engagement. But there are so many. And eventually, I heard lots of great words about Kajabi, but Kajabi is really expensive. So if you are only having like 5 students or 10 students, I don't recommend you use Kajabi, because it's like $200 or $300 a month. Like how many students do you have to really make up for the money that you're paying for Kajabi? Thinkific is a little bit cheaper, and I love using MemberVault. But if you want to have the link and share with me. And yeah, you got it, MemberVault. Yeah, so it's a newer platform. It's mainly for people who are, so for me, I'm selling high-end products, so I don't really have hundreds of customers. I love working with people, only a few people. I do one-on-one teaching, so I don't need a large platform that can host millions of students. It's not how I have positioned my program. So I only need a few students, and I don't want to pay hundreds of dollars to a platform like that. Yeah. So, okay, I'm losing my voice. Let me know, my friend, is this training helpful to boost my ego a little bit? This is literally what I've learned, and what I wish I knew this when I was starting out. But I'm also kind of starting out. But it is so incredible to see. The pictures I shared with you guys earlier. Like being depressed, like drinking, all those things, to really where I'm today, working with students from all over the place. And I can't wait to. My big audacious goal is to really grow my business to a 7-figure business, and I can't wait for that day to come. And now I know exactly. Before, I used to think, wow, making a 6-figure is so out of reach, right? Like maybe by the time, if I were teaching, still teaching in my college, university, I will have to wait until I'm a full-time professor. By the time I'm like 50 years old, I could finally make it to 6-figure, like low end. And but now I see the hope, right? So if I want to have more cash flow, I just launch more program, have more clients. It's like really a sense of freedom. And I highly encourage everyone to give this a try. It's hard, but it's also not rocket science. But it does take some courage to be outside your comfort zone. But anyway, and thank you so much, Randy, everyone. I really appreciate you guys. And I will let you know when I will do a part 2. And I still have, today we discussed D.I.S.C.O.V.E.R.Y, and only a few parts left, V-E-R-Y. But like today, what I covered today is really the most important part to help you get started. So the last, V-E-R-Y part are really for people who already have some cash flow, kind of where I'm right now, to scale more, to get to another level. But you don't really have to worry about all those optimization, funnels, all those things, but really have the basics foundation ready, and you can easily get to 6-figure. Anyway, thank you so much, my friends. I love you guys, and I appreciate you, and thank you for staying with me for this entire hour and 5 minutes. If you have any questions, and feel free to ask me, and share this training with other people you think they can benefit. And I think I will I'm going to eventually take this down, because I don't know, it's mainly for my private clients. So, so encourage them to watch the replay if you benefited from this training. And enjoy the rest of your day or evening, and stay awesome. Bye.